Inflation in Indonesia continues to increase. In its latest report, the Indonesian Central Bureau of Statistics announced that annual inflation in July reached the highest level in nearly 7 years.
On Monday, the head of Indonesian Central Bureau of Statistics announced that Indonesia's annual inflation came in at 4.94%, which is the highest level since October 2015, or the highest in nearly 7 years. This was also higher than annual inflation in June of 3.55%. The rise in inflation was attributed to the increase in prices of various food commodities, such as red chili, shallots, while the price of airfares and household fuels also increased. In fact, the food, beverages, and tobacco category was the highest contributor to inflation in July. And those prices even rose by 9% on an annual basis. Meanwhile, prices in the housing, water, electricity, and household fuels category also rose by 2.5% on an annual basis. The head of Indonesian Central Bureau of Statistics said that the global food and energy crisis is impacting inflation in Indonesia.
Bapak Ibu sekalian, secara year on year, tadi saya sampaikan bahwa inflasi di bulan Juli tahun 2022 ini sebesar 4,94%. Ini merupakan inflasi yang tertinggi sejak Oktober tahun 2015, di mana pada saat itu terjadi inflasi sebesar 6,25% secara year on year. Catatan inflasi perlu saya sampaikan di sini bahwa krisis pangan dan energi yang terjadi secara global ini memberikan tekanan kepada inflasi domestik sepanjang tahun 2022, ya, khususnya pada komponen energi yang terus menguat. Ya. Inflasi energi akibat krisis global dapat diredam dampaknya melalui kebijakan subsidi pemerintah. Ya. Inflasi pangan lebih disebabkan oleh gangguan suplai domestik pada komoditas volatile food akibat kondisi.
Australian Treasurer Jim Chalmers has warned that the country's inflation will peak at 7.75% by the end of the year before moderating and normalizing in the years to come.
On Thursday, Chalmers outlined the Australian Parliament and Australia's deteriorating economic outlook since the previous government announced this economic plan back in March. Chalmers says some of the factors affecting inflation were outside of Australia's control, including China's COVID-19 policies and the Russian invasion of Ukraine. His statement came after new figures show inflation in the year through June was at 6.1%, up from 5.1% in March. This is above pre-election forecasts, which had predicted inflation peaking at 4.25%.
Forecasts are never perfect, but these better reflect the economic circumstances our new government is now dealing with, compared with what was set out before the election. In the pre-election forecast released a little more than 3 months ago, inflation was expected to peak at 4.25%. It's already 6.1% through the year to June, and now forecast to peak at 7.75% in the December quarter this year. The current expectation is that it will get worse this year, moderate next year, and normalise the year after. We haven't reached the peak yet, but